Hey guys, so in this video I am going to solve one of the questions that came in the practical question paper of class 12th boards ISC exam, and here's the question in front of me. So I'm going to give you a detailed solution and explanation about how you should go about programming, so you can use this as a good practice and then probably uh, go through it and ask the doubts from your school teacher and take it as an exercise to code it separately in a given time. Okay, so we'll read the question now. So question 2 is, write a program to declare a matrix A of order m into n, where m is the number of rows and n is the number of columns, such that both the values of m and n must be greater than 2 and less than 10. Okay, very valid. The first statement is very clear. Allow the user to input integers into this matrix. Perform the following tasks on the matrix. Okay, so this is how you have to input. So this is what you have to do. So allow the user to input integers, okay, and then you have to display the original matrix. Okay, sort each row of the matrix in ascending order using any standard sorting technique. Sort each row, okay, and display the change matrix after sorting each row. Test your program for the following data and some random data. So the question is very clear that you have to have a matrix A, then you have to the values of m and n, which correspond to the values of rows and columns, have to be between 2 and 10, greater than 2 and less than 10, and then you have to first display the original matrix and then sort each row and then display the change matrix. So this is how the input looks like, and this is how the output looks like. So as I always tell you that your program should have input and output as close as possible and as exact as possible to the input and output given in the question. So I'm going to write this program again on notepad and then compile it. So class matrix public static void main string args throws exception, and here is my main method. Okay, so in this, so I can tell you the outline that I've prepared in my mind. So I will create one method to check if m lies in this range, I mean, and n lies in this range. So that is one method I'm going to write, and there's another method I'm going to write where I'm going to display the matrix, so that I can call the method when I want to display the original matrix, and then I can call the method again when I display the change matrix. So I'm going to do the first two methods now. So I will take two static methods. As you know that we'll call these methods in main, and main is static. So static methods can only call other static members. So it cannot call a non-static member, and non-static members can call both static and non-static. So method to check for valid range. So static boolean is in range int, say any value, int integer, int size, you can take size, and then this size has to be greater than 2 and less than 10. Size has to be greater than 2 and less than 10. So if size is greater than 2 and size is less than 10, I will return true, else I will return false. So this is very straightforward, that size has to be greater than 2 and less than 10, and this is what it says, greater than 2 and less than 10, very clear. Then I'm going to write another method to print the matrix, that is again going to be static, and this method has to be static because this will be called from the main, and just because, as I told you, static main is a static method and can only call a static method or any static data member. So to print the matrix, so static void display, and it will take a matrix in matrix and int m and int n. So taking values of int m and n is optional, but I'm taking it for convenience so that I don't have to calculate the rows and columns of this matrix every time I print it. So display the matrix. So for int I is equals to 0, I less than n I plus plus the inner loop. So as you know, you need a nested loop, a nested for loop to print the elements of a 2D array, which is matrix here. J is less than m and n j plus plus, sorry, and then you have to print this element. So system dot out dot print, I will print this element matrix I j and give it a space, and after each row is printed, for each row I have printed, I will change the line. So a lot of you might be knowing this technique, and it's very standard and useful. Okay, so I have a method that displays the matrix now. So you can add another method to sort the matrix, or you can do the sorting in the main. I will keep it separately. Method to sort matrix rows. So static void sort, and it will take the same parameters as this display. So just because it is void, I will leave it as it is, and when we go on to the main, and we'll check out if this method is really needed or not. So I'll go back to compiling this. So I'll open the CMD. So this is in my ISC CS program solution, ISC CS program solutions, Java C, sorry, Java C ISC question 2.java. Let me check if it compiles. It compiles and there is no issue. So whatever code we have written so far is correct. So let's move on now. Now we have to, so as I told you, we'll keep the input as close as possible to the input given here, the sample of input element. So we'll take m and n first. So this object input stream object. So you can use buffer reader or scanner or whichever way of input you want to. I used to use data input stream when I was in my first standard, so I'll go with it. Data input stream DIS is equals to new data input stream system dot in. Okay, with the semicolon there. Okay, so data input stream, okay, it's correct now. Now I read the value of m. So system dot out dot print, I will give it m is equals to, so that whenever m is asked for, m is printed like this, and then I can do int m is equals to integer dot parse int dis dot read line. So what I'm doing here is very simple. I'm printing this because I want to print m is equals to just as it is given here, and then have the value input here, and then it is input, it is read using the dis object readline function, and then it is converted to integer. Similarly, I'll read the value of n, read the value of n. Okay, so we have the values for m and n now, and check for the validity of m and n. So if not in range, if not is in range m, or not is in range n, then we are going to print the error that matrix size out of range. So what was the error there? It was matrix size out of range. So we are going to print this. Terminate the program. We terminated by program by returning. So this is just because the return type of this method is void. So when we type return, the control returns from this main method and the program exits. So system.out.println matrix size out of range. Okay, and so I have my range checking, so we can compile and check if we have written okay, so throws exception, and this is a part of import java.io, import java.io.asterisk, so java matrix. And so I have, if m is, what was the case where it went wrong was 11 and 5, so I have to have 11 and then 5, so matrix size out of range. So for 4 and 4 nothing happened because we haven't coded anything. So our method, so our condition to check for validity of the range is correct. Now we move forward, we need to read input, and so I assume, and I guess I rightly assume, but so I'll tell you. So I will go with the input in the way it is given in this program, that is there has to be 4 rows, and each row has 3 values in it. So I assume that this will be the way that input will be given, that each line will have the number of values equal to the number of rows, and there will be m number of lines input. So I can, so if you are using a scanner it will be very easy for you, but then if you are using a read line function, then you will have to get elements out of each and every line that you are entering, and I assume that input will be this in the very given same way. So let's write. So I will write another method to get the values out of a line, that is if this line is entered I am returned 11 minus 2 and 3. So uh, what I can use here is int is the static has to be the method because it is called, this is to be called int is to be returned, and then parse line. So this is my parse line method, and I will pass it a string m and int n to tell you how many values has to be passed. Okay, so first thing I do is create an array. So int row is equals to new, because this will be a row that will be read. So int n, okay, and then I have to pass this value. So there is a dot split function in Java that will split the line based on the space. So but then you have to use some other method, or maybe whichever method you know. So you have to split this line into the token, into the numbers which are given in this line. So you can either use a split method and you can directly use it, and then there is no harm in using that, or you can parse one by one. So I will use a split method because that's a very simple way to go. So split the line to string numbers. So just because I split the line, so it will return me 3 values, and 3 values can only be stored in an array at once. So string numbers equals to string, sorry, not m, line dot split using a space. So a lot of people might not know this method, so they have to like start iterating from the left and then keep adding this character to a string as long as a space is not met. Same for this, and then again. So let me do this and then we'll go on to the other method. So I get the numbers and then I have to store it in, copy it to the array. So for int I equals to 0 I method I plus plus. So row of I is equals to integer dot parse int numbers of I. Okay, so first we created an array. The name of the array is row because we are going to store the elements of the row in this array. So how do we get it? So we are taking one line as an input. So in this case there will be 4 lines. So when this first line is input, this is 11 space minus 2 space 3. So split method is an inbuilt method in Java string class that helps you split the line into tokens, which is, and the delimiter, I mean the basis on which the splitting is done, is given in the string. So I need to split based on space, so it will give me three values, 11 minus 2 and 3, and then those will be stored in this array, and then I will convert each of these numbers into integer and store it in the row, and then return the row. Okay, so I have returned the row. Now get the matrix first. So int matrix is equals to new. There is somewhere else I have used the word matrix. Let me check. Oh, it's there somewhere else. So it matrix new int m n. Now I ask for the input. So system.out.println. So I will ask for enter elements of matrix. Enter elements of matrix. Okay, and then you read matrix values. So it is assumed that the input will be correct. So for m is equals to 4, there will be 4 lines. For m is equals to 3, there will be 3 lines. For m is equals to 11, obviously there won't be anything. So the number of lines is equal to the number of rows. So for int I is equals to 0, I is less than m, I plus plus. We have to read 4 lines and read each row as a string. So string line is equals to br dot, sorry, it is dis dot read line. So I have 4 rows, I mean I have m number of rows, sorry, I have m number of rows, and each row is input as a string, which is one line, and then I get the row. So int row is equals to parse line. So I will use this method, parse line, pass this line as the string value and then value of n, because it has n values in it. So it might create errors, but we are going to check it out. So we get the row and copy to the matrix. For int j is equal to 0, j is less than and j plus plus, matrix of I comma j is equals to row of j. So just because there are n values in j, we are going to write all these n values of this row into the ith row of the matrix. So we close this now. So let us just display the matrix for now. Matrix. So my method I used was display matrix m. So I will call display matrix m n. Okay, so let me compile and check it works. Then we are going to write this 4 and 3 example. 4 3. Okay, 11 minus 2 3. Exceptions 3. Okay, it says index out of bounds, where it says in Java 97. So where have I gone wrong? Okay, so there are not n values are printed, so just print the row to check. Or int, oh sorry, it has to be j, that's why it is giving this error. So let us forget this. 4, 3. Sorry, 4, 3, and then I have 11 minus 2 3. Okay, no error, no error yet. 516.7, 516.7, no error yet. 904, no error yet, and 318. And so I have the matrix exactly the way it is, because after 318 I get A11 minus 2 3 5 16 7 9 0 4 and 318, and so the code we have written is exactly correct. Now we just need to sort and display again. So I will call this use this sort each row. So for int I is equals to 0, I less than n, because they are sorry I less than m. I usually do this mistake. So just because there are m rows, so we are going to write a loop m times, and each time the ith row will be sorted. Sort the ith row. I'm going to use simple bubble sort for int a is equal to 0. I'm using a b so that I don't get confused. A is less than n because there will be n elements in the row. For b is equals to 0, b is less than n, b plus plus, sorry, b is less than n minus 1, b plus plus. So you can use a plus 1 also as the limit for the bubble sort. So but I'm not using it because I always make it 0, because it does not matter much using the bubble sort technique to sort. So for b is equals to 0, b is less than n minus 1, b plus plus. Okay, and then yes, swap if greater, and it has to be in the ascending order, I guess. Yes, ascending order. So if bth element is greater than b plus 1 element, so if matrix of the ith row has the bth element is greater than matrix of ith row and b plus 1th element, then swap m equals to matrix of ib equals to matrix of ib plus 1, matrix of ib plus 1 equals to 10. Okay, so our sorting is done. So let me tell you the sorting in very short. So we have to sort each row. So we'll go from 0 to m minus 1, because I is equals to 0 to I less than is equal to m minus 1 will give us the ith row. So in this case, now we're going to go inside this ith row and sort it using the bubble sort technique. So it's like sorting a single array. The only thing we need to do is use the ith row. So the ith row and the bth element compared with the same ith row with the b plus 1th element, and if it is greater, the first element is greater than the corresponding next one, so swap, and we are going to display the matrix. So let me check the output. Okay, so original matrix and matrix after sorting rows. So original matrix system.out.println original matrix, it is this, and then matrix after sorting rows. Matrix after sorting rows. Okay, so matrix after sorting rows. Okay, and then I have to display again, then sort the matrix. So I sort the matrix using the sort function. So sort matrix mn. So sort matrix mn. So Java C. Oh, there's something very horrible I've done. What is it? Oh, there's no int here. So bad error, sorry. It compiles, I run it, m is equals to 4 and 3 minus 1 5th. So I'm using the up down arrow keys to get to the last entered data. So enter elements of matrix are 11 minus 2 3 5 16 7 9 0 4 3 1 8. Okay, Output is original matrix is 11 minus 2 3 5 16 7 9 0 4 3 1 8. Okay, matrix after sorting rows is minus 2 3 11 minus 2 3 11 5 7 16 5 7 16 0 4 9 0 4 9 1 3, and the output is exactly correct. We're going to do another case 3 and 3, and it says 22 5 19 22 5 19 7 36 12 and 9 13 6 9 13 6. So AXC is 5 9 22 7 13 7 12 36 7 12 36 6 9 13 and 6 9 13. Last case 11 and 5, and matrix are out of range. So this is what the solution for the problem is. So this is the solution to the problem, and as you can see, I have completely divided solution into different parts. So this method is very simple. It checks if m and n is because they have the same base, so you can just write one method to check the values for both m and n, and you also have to display the matrix twice. So rather than typing this code to print the matrix twice, you can just write it once in a method and then call that method. And methods also help you to distribute your tasks. So if you have to debug somewhere, it will be very easy for you. And then we have this sort method that will sort each row, and then we have parse line. Okay, so I use split in parse line, and it is highly likely that you people have not covered split. So let me comment this part out. So now I'm going to use the standard technique of finding the space and then accumulating. So I will add a space to the line. Okay, plus okay, I will take an iterator from start. So add extra space to line, then the iterator to start, and then we can do accumulate elements. So string m is equals to empty while I is less than line dot length. Okay, so now if I get a space, if there is a space, add this element to the row array. So I will take an index for the row array. Index is equal to 0. So if line dot char add I is equals to space, then what I will do is okay, so row of index plus plus is equals to integer dot parse int temp, and we have to empty the temp to start accumulating elements, else add to temp equals to temp plus line dot char I and you exit, and yes, obviously increment I, so I plus plus. Okay, so what is happening here is, if I have my line as 11 minus 2 and 3, so 11 minus 2 3, so the basic technique is to keep collecting the characters as long as you don't find a space. When you find a space, you convert the collected characters into an integer and store it in the row, and empty the string in which you were storing the characters, and then restart the process again. So I have added a space at the end so that this last value is also added to the row, and you can check it out. So I started with the very left space, with the very left character. So if this is a space, so it will be added to the row. No, so if it is not a space, so temp is equals to 1 now, then again it will increment and go to this one. So it is a space, no, it will be added to temp, so temp is equals to 11 now. Now again this is a space, yes, so the first index of the row will get the value 11 and temp is empty now. okay, and then I is incremented, so I go to minus. So if this is a space, no, I if this is space, sorry, no, so I go here, temp minus is added to temp, then I go to the next 2, then it is a space, no, 2 gets added to temp, so temp becomes -2. I go to the next index, it is space, yes, so the next value in the row, so it is like row index equals to this value and then index plus 1. So I've added done it in the same line. So just to make it easier for you, I can do it like this. Sorry, index plus plus, okay. So this will, and then similarly for 3, and similarly for any number of values which are there, so and then the row is returned. So we are going to try and check if this works. So I'm going to take this example 4 3, and you can see we have the similar exact same output again. So just because I have done a lot of coding, so this method is pretty clear to me, so I did not commit any mistakes. So you will have to practice a lot if you want to go with this method, but this is more that you can relate, and because split method is something I'm not very sure that you might be knowing or not. So this is just standard technique that I used to use when I was in my 12th standard, to go along the line and keep collecting the elements, and when I find a space, then I parse. So this was the solution to this question, and I hope it was helpful to you. So please like my video and subscribe to this channel for more such videos. Thank you.